Welcome to Bonding Over Bourbon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kat.
This week's episode is a little bit different than our usual Tuesday bourbon hunt, but it comes for a good reason. So we spent the last couple of days driving around searching for stores that would let us film, and we either encountered stores that weren't comfortable with it, outright said no, or they were a museum that had ridiculously inflated prices that we didn't feel comfortable showing on our channel.
There were really cool things on the shelf, though.
Yeah, if you could afford it.
So after nearly a year on YouTube, we created a list of whiskeys that we're no longer hunting for.
Yeah, at one point in time, these were all bottles that we either really loved or we still have on our shelves, and we just don't really reach for them anymore.
Yeah, things that just don't create excitement anymore for us.
Or that they've been priced out to the point where we don't really want to pay for it.
That's true.
So yeah, before we get into that, a quick pause here to thank all of our patrons and all of our viewers like you that help make this channel possible. We really appreciate you watching this video. If this is your first time here and you enjoy what you see, subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. One other bit of news here, our bottle shop is finally up.
Exciting.
Yeah, so for those who haven't seen our lives, this is a bottle shop that is available online that can go and deliver directly to your house. It's available in 46 states. I don't remember the 4 that it can't deliver.
I know Utah.
And I know Michigan. So if you live in those states, I'm sorry, we can't help you. If things change in the future, we'll let you know. But by the time you see this, the site will be live. It's bondingbottle.shop. I've been feverishly manually programming all of the prices into it to try to give you all the best price possible.
Chris already did it once. Unfortunately, there was a tech glitch.
Yeah, it kept on defaulting all of the sales to what the company wanted to mark it up to, and we didn't feel comfortable with that. So we lowered our prices to the bare minimum, as close to cost as possible, because we'd rather have more people enjoy the whiskey that they can't find instead of worrying about what our bottom line is.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to buy for your family coming up in the holiday season for that bourbon lover in your life.
Yeah, whether you're stocking up for the holiday season and dealing with the in-laws, or you're getting a bottle for the father-in-law that you love.
Or maybe you're just buying it for yourself because you need something to drown your sorrows.
Yeah, Christmas can be a tough time of year. But regardless, it is going to be available. That again is bondingbottle.shop. If you see this after watching the video, leave a comment, let us know what your thoughts are, and we look forward to getting you the bottles that you're looking for.
Yeah, should we get into the bottles that we're no longer hunting for?
Yeah, so the first one that we're going to be grabbing is, or well, talking about rather, is Midwinter Dram.
It's true. It's just something that doesn't excite us anymore. I think it definitely has increased in price since the first time that we got it together. I think that was which one, 12 that we got together?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well,
it's not
Act 12, scene, whatever.
Yeah.
We can't keep track of all those releases anymore.
I'm not a Shakespeare person, so...
It was the one thing I did well in any English class, surprisingly. But so we, at one point in time, absolutely loved this bottle. We were obsessed with it. I tried it for multiple years in a row, especially working at Longman and Eagle. I got to try so many different releases, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, we have to get it when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, we picked up one for like the new inflated price that was like around 150.
Yeah.
150-ish around that time. That seems to be the new standard for it. And whether you love or hate the bottle, the one thing we can all agree upon is that the price is going up and the quality is going down.
I have also seen it on shelves for almost like $350 before.
Yeah, and we've seen some of the older ones going for 400 plus. And to us, something like that really isn't worth chasing when you can find an option that's more affordable, it's available year-round, and we have within arm's reach.
Yes. So the first one is going to be Revival. So Revival is the same folks that make Jimmy Red Corn, and it is just super delicious. This is all rye whiskey and tawny ports, and it just is so easy to drink in the fall, in the winter.
It's also what we have in our glass.
Yeah, look at that color. It is just so dark and beautiful.
Yeah, very, very dark color. Definitely matches the Midwinter's color palette. Honestly, like, I think we both agreed it definitely has like a little bit of a sweeter note than like your traditional bourbon or rye. And it definitely has like a lot of like the grape flavor, like the raisiny kind of notes.
Like dried raisin.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, not super dried raisin, but like still pretty flavorful.
I guess all raisins are dry.
Yeah, well, some are slightly rehydrated, but that's a whole other topic.
This isn't a podcast about raisins, you know?
Yeah, if you want to watch Bonding Over Food.
Bonding Over Raisins.
Yeah, Bonding Over Raisins. Let us know in the comments, and we'll maybe do some food videos at some point in time. But either way, so for $45-ish, like $40 to $50, and it's available year-round. I think it's about a 4-year whiskey, so you're definitely trading off a little bit of age for a relatively close flavor, honestly. And I mean, it's available everywhere. Well, hopefully.
I haven't checked their distribution, but this is so good on its own, but also over ice. It's delicious.
Yeah.
As a cocktail, I can imagine this is like a killer. So
yeah, I could see like a rum raisin old fashioned. If you do like a split base with a little bit of rum, even if it's something a little bit more bready, it would be pretty tasty, pretty delicious stuff.
I agree.
So what's the next bottle we're talking about?
So the next bottle we're talking about, and I think this is going to cause a little.
I know which one this is.
Do you?
Yeah. Do you like horses?
I love horses.
I am very indifferent about them.
I'm still trying to collect the apostrophe, which is...
And the second N.
It's somewhere out in the world.
Which does exist, but it's the jockey looks different. So whether you love it or hate it, Blanton's is one of the most iconic bottles in the world of whiskey. It's gotten so much publicity in movies, John Wick. It's on like the Bad Friends podcast from time to time.
I see it. I saw it on the Penguin.
Yeah, that's true. So clearly the marketing is out there and it's helping the appeal of something that's sought after and kind of hard to find.
Good marketing does a lot for a brand.
Yeah, talk to Buffalo Trace about that. So we find that it's not really worth the chase because whether you have to go to a raffle or a lottery or there's a point system or you have to chase down somebody who has access to allocation.
Or you just have to be at a store at the right time to pick it up on the shelf.
And even then, it's usually like 100 plus. For something that varies so wildly from bottle to bottle and barrel to barrel, and it's something that's never really impressed us. Like, is it easy drinking? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it something that I reach for on a regular basis? No. We've had a couple bottles, and every time that we would go to reach for it, we reach for something else next to it.
Yeah.
So the one thing that we do keep reaching for is...
Boom. Benchmark single barrel.
Yeah.
Oh, we almost said that together. That was cute.
Yeah, right. So same exact proof, 93. Again, a single barrel from the same company that makes the same juice. Oh, sorry, 95. You're actually trading 2 more proof points for this. Now, we do understand that this isn't available in every market.
True.
If you can get it, amazing. If not, check out our bottle shop.
It's on there.
Well, hopefully they keep it in stock. I will leave that up to you guys to judiciously buy bottles instead of purging our stock. But yeah, so basically you're paying $20 to $30 for reasonable prices.
I've also seen this on shelves for $89.
Yeah, again, not worth that price point. If you can get it as close to MSRP, it's a really good value. Yeah. This is probably our number 1 sipper. I mean, I know I drink it a lot.
You go for it a lot.
Yeah,
the whole benchmark expression, honestly.
Yeah, this is the one I do drink the most, though. Again, it's really easy sipping. There's like a little bit of cherry notes to it that kind of reminds me more of like an E.H. Taylor small batch. But again, because it's a single barrel, you're not getting any blending. Again, for that price point, it's really hard to beat.
Yeah.
And I have such an affinity for it that we have one stashed behind our camera. We have another one that's in a separate room. And then this one that is almost killed already.
Yeah. We hate this bottle. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not worth picking up. Don't even try to grab it. So what's the next bottle we're throwing some shade at?
So the next bottle is actually a brand. It's not a specific bottle, but this one is going to be Starlight.
Oh, okay.
So Starlight has been one that we've either loved or we just kind of fell flat on.
Yeah, there's a few that we really enjoyed, but those are the ones that kind of go a little higher in price point, or they're the yearly releases. And like getting into cigar blends now, like we first fell in love with the Joseph Magnus. And that's not the one we're recommending because you're trading a slightly lower price point for almost double the price, if probably over double. So we're looking for value, like cigar blends that are just coming from brands that have a little bit more transparency. You know where they're getting their juice from. So this next one we actually got from the help of one of our subscribers, Tony. If you're watching this, thank you so much for this. This is one I didn't know existed until I started talking to Tony a couple weeks back.
This is the rum?
Finished in a couple things. So it is a single barrel full proof finished in Armagnac, port, and sherry casks.
I love Armagnac.
And Wheelhorse is sourcing all of their distillate from, this one doesn't even say exactly where. From my understanding, they're sourcing a majority of their product from Green River.
Yeah.
So if this one's different, I do apologize. We're not trying to mislead anyone. But overall, you're going to get usually about a 4-year whiskey. This one I think was $40, $45, something like that. For something that is dark, very, very dark in color. You're getting a really good cigar blend experience for a fraction of the cost. And I tried this against the cigar blend, the Ambrano one from Starlight.
Yeah.
Blew it out of the water.
Ooh, okay.
Absolutely blew it out of the water. Not even close.
I can imagine with like the Armagnac, it really does give like a nice kind of complexity, while port and sherry are very, very straightforward.
Yeah. So again, this is a more affordable option if you can find it. This one was a store pick, I think. Although, actually, no. This is just a regular single barrel. Oh, there we go. It is. So it is a store pick. But if you can find them in your market, they're definitely worth grabbing. I was so blown away by this that, like, after Tony grabbed this for us, he got one himself, and he was like, you have to crack it open. It's delicious. And I'm so glad that, we were able to get it, because this one's going to be enjoyed for quite a while. And if we run out of it, I will be sad.
I didn't even know you opened it, so I'm upset you did.
I told you when I opened it.
Without me.
Well, you tried a little sip of it, and then you went immediately to bed.
That's fair. I'm very sleepy.
I do all my cigar smoking when she's going to bed, because she doesn't like the smell of smoke.
That's not true. I just don't like the smell of cigarette smoke.
Okay, that's fair. I haven't tested the waters. I'm not trying to rock the boat.
No rocking the boat here.
All right, so what's our next one?
So the next one, I don't think is technically allocated, but it's definitely one that a lot of people love, and we just are not huge fans of.
I know what you're talking about.
Which is Woodford Double Oak.
Yeah. So we're not exactly Woodford haters. We just think that the flavor is a little underpronounced. Okay, fine. I'm a Woodford hater.
I could see. So one of our subscribers did tell us a blend of what could be possible, which I'm into. So if I ever got into blending all of our whiskeys, maybe I would pick one up. But for everyday sippers, I don't know. It doesn't excite me. Yeah,
the tannic nature of how they do their double oak just always comes off a little like ashy and like not great to me. I think that in terms of like the oaking process, we would much rather have like a toasted barrel or something with like a little bit more of a toasty characteristic. So you're technically still getting like an almost double oaked experience. This one's not a huge value trade-off in price, but
it's about the same.
Yeah, so we are big fans of the Old Forester 1910.
I'm just a fan of Old Forester in general. That has always been my go-to sipper of like the 100 proof. I love that one. That's what I always gravitate to.
Well, you say that now, but we're going to throw a little shade in a minute.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so this one, if you haven't had it before, it is delicious. Their entire whiskey row line is pretty solid. This one's roughly about $50, I think. This is their toasted barrel expression. It adds like a marshmallowy, like kind of like Bananas Foster meets creme brulee kind of flavor profile.
And you're kind of by like the campfire. Like it's giving you a little hint of the oakiness, but not too much.
Yeah. So this one is 93 proof. So I believe it's about like a 3-point increase on the Woodford Double Oak. But honestly, like if you haven't tried it, it's delicious. It's loved by many. And I mean,
hated by few.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There's like 3 more things I want to say, but I don't want to censor.
I know. I already gave them a bunch of taglines. So,
yeah.
Old Forester, if you're watching this,
please support us.
Yeah.
We support you.
I was going to say hire me, but that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so honestly, really solid option. Still about $50 to $60. So you're kind of in the same price range. Just, I think it's a little bit more approachable, a little bit more accessible, available in almost every market.
Yeah.
So you should have no problem getting it, hopefully.
Yeah. You should always see it on shelves.
Yeah.
So the next one.
I know what this one is.
So I think we're just causing a little bit of shade towards one. I'm not trying to cause shade.
I am.
But this is another one that comes from the Sazerac company. And Eagle Rare was one of our first allocated bottles.
I bought it for years without realizing that it was allocated.
Oops.
Yeah, and when it used to be like $35, it was one of the best values you could get for like a 10-year whiskey.
Yeah.
There's really no arguing with that.
And the first time, like, you got it, we got it together, it was at MSRP too. It was like under.
I got it at Jewel for $33.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we used to love it. We used to love like the flavor profile of it, the viscosity of it, the fact that it was like relatively approachable for something that's allocated and harder to get.
Yeah.
But over the years, we find that we're reaching for it less and less for the price point and for how hard it is to get and how much fanfare there is around it. It's just becoming kind of unattainable. We've seen it go for $100. We've seen it go for like $120. We've seen people like bundle it into like packages where like if you buy this, then you can get that, which by the way, not sure if you know this, probably not legal. But anyways, yeah, so the idea is there are so many other options that are kind of in the same wheelhouse that have the same level of flavor that are just being skipped over. And this is another one that's not available in every market. But Kat, if you'll oblige.
I would love to. So we are staying within Sazerac. So
they're still getting your money.
They're still getting your money, just a little less of it. Benchmark Bonded. I think this one has like the nice grape notes that I get from Eagle Rare. It's really easy sipping. I don't know the proof on this one. It's 100 proof.
It's bonded. It's 100 proof.
Yeah, duh. Oh, my brain is like, no, it's bonded. It's over that.
Now, granted, you are trading 6 years out for this instead of getting a 10-year, which Eagle Rare has been like kind of the staple for value on that.
Yeah.
The 4-year is honestly very smooth and easy sipping. And again, we know it's not available in every market, but if you can find it and you're really like, you're set on getting Eagle Rare, but you can't find it, this one will get the job done. I would argue that this one's probably easier to drink because it's not as rich as Eagle Rare. It has a lot of the grape notes that you like. If you like things like Stag and you like things like Eagle Rare, granted the proof doesn't come with this one compared to Stag, but it's gonna hit all of those same notes, like your berries, your grapes, your things like that. And for like $20-ish, I think it's usually just about 20.
I think so. Depending on the market.
And what your local liquor store is charging. It's honestly solid. We have restocked this one numerous times over the years, and we used to get this for like $12 in Indiana.
I know.
And we would basically buy like almost a full case at a time. But yeah, really solid option. We are going to be doing, again, a full like blind of all of the benchmark releases soon. That is going to be on our members only channel on YouTube. If you're not already on there, please join. Come say hi. You get access to our private Discord.
It is thriving.
Yeah, you get exclusive videos that nobody else will see except for our members, and then you get premium access to all of our meetups and stuff like that in the future. And if you're in the Chicago area, or even if you want stuff online, we constantly drop information for things to find in your market, and we give you a heads up on stuff that we learn about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next one is actually something that we've only purchased once because the price does stop us a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
Which is Widow Jane Decadence.
At one point in time, we really loved it, and we've kind of like kicked the can a few times on getting another bottle. We plowed through the first Decadence we got in no time. I think it's like batch 2 or batch 3.
Yeah, it is delicious. It is like, once I opened it, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
This is
it's like candy in a glass.
Yeah, it's so easy to sip, but the price definitely stops me a lot of the time.
And it keeps going up.
And it keeps going up. Yeah, you're not wrong.
It used to be like $70 when we first picked it up, and that was in our early days, so we thought that was a splurge. But now it's like $90 to $110 depending on your market, and we just can't justify it anymore.
No.
So instead, we're supporting local and some of our distillery friends that we absolutely love. This is the Jeppson's Maple Cask finish. When we went to go and do our tour at CH, one of the first things that Tyrus, the person in charge of blending, did was he just grabbed a random bottle of something and then just poured it and was like, try this, let me know what you think. And we're like, wow, this is really good. What is this? And he's like, this is a maple finish. I was like, this is so well done. This is so much better than every other maple finish that we've had. But it's not just our viewpoint. Like, we've contacted Jeppson's, we've had them reach out to some of our other friends on YouTube, and even Whiskey Row saying high praises of this.
Yeah, I've seen it in a few of their videos, which is crazy.
Yeah, and we're actually really awesome and excited for them because Jeppson's is making really good stuff. Just not a lot of people talk about it. They're afraid of the whole Malort connection.
Yeah,
there is no Malort in the bottle.
No Malort.
Sorry.
We're very passionate about it.
Yeah, and we almost timed it perfectly.
I know, so close.
Yeah, no Malort in the bottle, but what is in here is great value, and I think David's exact quote was, whatever the price is on this, pay it.
Pay it.
And he's not wrong.
It's so viscous. It is truly, like, it's more decadent than Widow Jane decadence.
Well, mostly in mouthfeel.
Yeah.
You don't get the same kind of like rich syrupy flavor that the Widow Jane decadence has, but you do get a lot of the same flavor. You do get a lot of the same viscosity to it, maybe a bump up. And again, that color is very dark. You can see it's got a lot going on, but the maple is so balanced.
It's so good.
It is absolutely perfect. If you're considering anything from Jeppson's, this is the one to get without question. And even if you don't like maple finishes, this one might change your mind.
It might. Maybe put it on ice and it'll be the most delicious drink you've ever had.
Or maybe a couple of drops here.
Okay, next one.
So this is the one where you're eating your words and you're throwing a little bit of shade at Old Forester.
A little shade.
But it's not bad shade. It's just that, we do love the single barrel proof bourbons, but we find that the last couple releases that we've had have just been so like hot and astringent,
hard to drink, where it's just like you take a sip and you're like like all the like spit is out of your mouth, not out of your mouth. Why did that sound so weird?
They'll either make you salivate or they'll be like bone dry on your palate.
You're just like, I need water now.
And like, we used to love them when we first got them, and we're at the point now where we don't really do things on the rocks, but that is one that like you almost exclusively have to have on the rocks. And I mean, what's the point of getting a barrel proof if you're just gonna proof it down yourself anyway?
Well, I feel like I'm sure there's an argument to that too, where you
don't destroy me in the comments, or do
destroy Chris,
or do go for it.
If you do want to get something barrel proof and you want to proof it down to your taste and not to the blender's taste, I could see that. But in our case, we love barrel proofs and we like enjoying it straight from the barrel rather than proofing it down to something that's a little more like,
I mean, like these are staples for us. This is like 63.8, which we thought like, man, that's going to be hot, but still drinks less spicy than the Old Forester single barrel proof bourbons,
which is a mouthful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're trading that mouthful for another mouthful, and we're trading the spirit for a different kind. So we keep going back and forth between whether we like the bourbon or the rye from the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, but it's the rye. This one drinks more bourbon friendly. It's got a lot more like kind of banana, like again, almost like a creme brulee kind of flavor profile. It's got a lot of mouthfeel. It's very viscous. It drinks way smoother than the proof would let you think.
I think a lot of the times from Jack Daniel's, I get banana bread.
Yeah.
And in this instance, I get more like Bananas Foster.
Yeah.
Which I really love, getting like that caramelized kind of taste. Like it just got torched.
Yeah, I'm not big on the texture of bananas, but I do love the flavor of those kind of desserts. And this is like a perfect middle ground for me, where I get to have the idea of a banana without having to actually eat it. So it's everything that I love in a single like high proof pour. And this one is 63.10%. So it's still pretty up there, but it, again, drinks very smooth.
Yeah.
Drinks more like I don't know, I would say like 110 or like maybe like 108, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So they're deceptively smooth.
Jack Daniels is doing some good things right now.
Yeah.
I really enjoy
and
it.
if you're still on the Jack Daniels is a bad whiskey bandwagon, you need to get out of whiskey.
Come on.
Because brands like these are really killing it by reinventing themselves, and they changed our opinion.
They really did. My family has always been a Jack Daniels household, and I thought that was the lamest option ever until I started drinking a lot of these different expressions. Even like the triple mash and the bonded, all of those really did change my mind.
Yeah, so as you can see, we ate our words. We realized that these brands are capable of reinventing and just knocking it out of the park. So give it a try if you haven't. You'll definitely, you won't regret it.
Yeah. On to our last one.
Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. This is the last one. Sorry, numbers isn't my game.
I'm a numbers person.
So this is one that's going to be a hot button issue for a couple of reasons. Willett Purple Tops.
Oh.
They go for way more money than the number of years that are included in the bottle.
Isn't it usually like 4 to 6 years?
Some of them are a lot older. We're talking specifically about like the black bottle, the 8-year wheater. So we've seen it as low as like $250, and even then we kind of passed on it. We've seen it as high as like $700. We don't think it's worth that much. And maybe to somebody it is, but for our palate, it's not. So for these, we decided to go for things that are flavor bombs that don't necessarily try to make you break the bank. And we couldn't decide, so we have 2 options for it.
We do have 2 options. So the first one is going to be, I'm just going to throw it as the first one, Ben Holiday is going to be our first one. Just because it's really, really available in every market.
Hopefully.
Every market that we've been into, I've seen it on shelves. Not necessarily the soft red wheat, but I've definitely seen the other varieties.
And they do have a rickhouse proof too.
They do.
Like 60 something percent. This one is just 100 proof, so 50%. Honestly, solid.
Yeah.
Enjoyable. We found that it's honestly just like almost everything that you want from a bourbon. Just done incredibly well with a lot more transparency, which kind of leads us to the next one. This is Mary Dowling. It is actually part of the Rabbit Hole group.
I think it's like tangent, adjacent.
Yeah. It's adjacent.
Adjacent.
So
that's the word I wanted to say.
Mary Dowling doesn't really get any love right now. Most of the stuff that we've heard from people is just like hearsay from somebody else that they heard from somebody else. You're going to hear it straight from the horse's mouth here. We have tried it. It is way better than people are giving it credit for. We have really fallen in love with the brand. For those that care, Mary Dowling is like a significant figure in the world of whiskey making. Do your own deep dive on the background. I won't fill up any more airtime here. This is their winter wheat. It is 100 proof, I think, 91 proof. So the wheated mash bill is also a toasted barrel. So you've got a whole lot of complexity going on. You got something that's basically already a unicorn, because not a lot of people are doing winter wheat.
No, I can only think of one other brand.
Yeah, I can only really think of New Riff, and the other one's escaping me. But for something that's available on the shelves right now, it's like $50 to $60, hopefully, depending on the market that you're in, for something that's solid, it's approachable. It's a touch more sweet than the Willett ones, but I find that those are kind of sweet to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this one really surprised us.
It really did. And I think you talked me into Mary Dowling, because for a long time we saw it sitting on shelves. It was something that we passed up a bunch, and we actually picked up our first one when it was on a end of bin clearance.
Yeah, well, that was the red label.
Yeah, one of them.
It was like
the first one.
It was like $140 marked down to like $80, and I was like, take my money, let's go. But this one is like half that price, and it's honestly really worth it. If you see this and you have a place that will allow you to try a sample of it or get it at a bar, like for a pour, it is remarkable. It is delicious. It is enjoyable. It's approachable. It's easy sipping. I mean, we've taken a good chunk of it. Yeah, and we've only really poured this a few times. I think we just do pretty hefty pours whenever we go.
It's delicious. Yeah, it's so easy to drink. I would definitely pick this one up any day, and I would also pick up the Ben Holiday.
Yeah. So we had a couple other ones in mind for this video, but we don't want this to run any longer than it already is. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts on some of our pivots and some of our substitutes for some of these bigger, harder to find bottles. And if you like this video, just let us know what you enjoyed about it. Anything you want to add, Kat?
No, just thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Check out the bondingbottle.shop and get the bottle of your dreams. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.